Commanders fans, welcome back to Commanders HQ, the place where we break down every roster move, every contract update, and every rumor that connects to our burgundy and gold. This team is working every single day to improve, to refine, and to put itself in the best position possible to win big in 2025. And we've got a double shot of news today that proves just how serious this front office is about both the short-term and long-term future of the Washington Commanders. Before we dive in, do me a quick favor. Smash that like button right now to help push this video out to more Commanders fans, and if you're new to the channel, subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss our insider-style breakdowns. All right, let's talk about Adam Peters, Kendrick Bourne, and of course, Terry McLaurin's blockbuster extension. We all know by now that Adam Peters has not been shy about leaning on veterans to build this roster. After years of questionable draft picks under Ron Rivera, Peters inherited a situation where there simply wasn't enough homegrown talent. The Commanders, as a result, now have one of the oldest rosters in the NFL. Critics will say that's a dangerous way to build, but here's the reality. Peters has had no choice. To stabilize the locker room and surround young quarterback Jaden Daniels with reliable leadership, he's gone after proven, battle-tested players. That's how you turn a shaky foundation into a legitimate contender. And now, Peters has a chance to dip back into his past connections because a familiar face just hit the market. Wide receiver Kendrick Bourne is officially a free agent after the New England Patriots tried and failed to find a trade partner. The Patriots shopped him to Minnesota, but when the Vikings opted for Adam Thielen instead, the Patriots had no choice but to release him. So why is this relevant to Washington? Because Peters knows Bourne extremely well. Back in San Francisco, Peters was one of the front office voices who identified Bourne as an undrafted free agent with serious upside. And Bourne rewarded that belief with 4 years of steady production in Kyle Shanahan's system before cashing in with New England. His first year in Foxborough was his best, over 800 receiving yards and 5 touchdowns. Since then, injuries and schematic fit slowed him down. But here's the question Peters must answer. Was Bourne's decline more about the Patriots' offense and health issues, or is there simply not much left in the tank? Let's be honest, the Washington wide receiver room already has its star in Terry McLaurin, and with Deebo Samuel and promising rookie Luke McCaffrey, plus veterans like Michael Gallup and KJ Osborne, it's already crowded. But here's the kicker. Washington has thrived in recent years by giving second chances to veterans who just needed the right culture and system. That's exactly the kind of environment Dan Quinn has built. Players buy in, veterans find a spark, and role players often end up making big-time contributions. Adding Bourne wouldn't be about him being a WR1 or WR2. It would be about depth, leadership, and familiarity with Adam Peters. Even if the Commanders are comfortable rolling with 5 wideouts and keeping Ja'Cory Brooks on the practice squad, bringing Bourne in for a workout wouldn't be the worst idea in the world. For Peters, it's about trust, and he's already shown that if he believes someone can help, he won't hesitate to pull the trigger. Now, let's shift to the headline that really matters for the long-term health of this franchise, Terry McLaurin's extension. We've known for weeks that McLaurin and Washington struck a massive 3-year deal, but now we have the full details, and they paint a very clear picture. This was a win-win deal for both sides. At first, reports had the extension valued at $96 million, with an average annual value of $32 million. But the real base number is closer to $87 million total, which works out to $29 million per year, according to Ian Rappaport. McLaurin also secured $44 million guaranteed at signing, which includes a $30 million signing bonus. That guarantee can grow to $50 million by 2027, though there's no guaranteed money beyond that. The rest, it's built around performance incentives. Here's how it works. 83 catches is $300,000. If Washington makes the playoffs and he hits that mark, it doubles to $600,000. 1,097 receiving yards is another $300,000. Again, double it with a playoff berth. 10 touchdown receptions, $300,000. With playoffs, $600,000. All-pro recognition, $500,000. Basically, the Commanders built a contract that rewards McLaurin for elite production. And if you followed his career, you know he's more than capable of hitting those benchmarks. For the Commanders, this is a no-brainer. McLaurin has been WR1 from the moment he stepped into the league. He's produced through quarterback chaos, coaching turnover, and constant organizational changes. Locking him up shows fans and the rest of the NFL that the new ownership and front office are serious about building a winner. For Jayden Daniels, this is a dream scenario. Imagine being a second-year quarterback knowing you've got a proven, reliable star receiver locked in for the next 3 seasons. That kind of stability accelerates development. It means fewer distractions and more continuity in the passing game. And for McLaurin, this deal is validation. He's finally being paid like the top-tier wide receiver he's proven to be. At 29 years old, he's now secured financial stability, motivation through incentives, and the chance to be the face of the franchise alongside his young quarterback. Here's the bottom line. The Commanders are tightening up their roster in smart, calculated ways. Adam Peters is leaning on veterans he trusts while keeping his eyes open for opportunities like Kendrick Bourne. At the same time, the front office is locking down its cornerstone players like McLaurin. This is how you build a contender. Not just with flashy moves, but with smart, steady decisions that strengthen the culture, protect your young quarterback, and keep stars happy. According to multiple reports, including Tom Pelissero and Ian Rappaport, Washington has brought back quarterback Sam Hartman just after cutting him during final roster moves. Hartman was among the names left off the 53-man roster, but instead of moving on entirely, the Commanders decided to keep him around on the practice squad. This isn't unusual in the NFL. Teams cut players they like with the hope of stashing them on the practice squad for development and depth, and that's exactly what's happening here. Hartman didn't exactly light up the preseason, completing 25 of 46 passes for 207 yards, 0 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions across 3 games. But the Commanders see enough in him, the toughness, the college production, the leadership traits, to keep him in the building and working within the system. So let's look at the bigger picture. The Commanders are carrying 3 quarterbacks on the 53-man roster. Jayden Daniels, the young star and unquestioned starter, Marcus Mariota, the experienced veteran who can step in if needed, and Josh Johnson, the ultimate journeyman who brings leadership and a steady presence.
That trio gives Washington security, but the NFL is unpredictable, and depth matters. Hartman's role is not about starting or even suiting up on game day right now. It's about being prepared. If injuries hit, or if Washington simply wants to keep grooming a developmental quarterback behind Daniels, Hartman fits the bill. Who is Sam Hartman? A quick recap. Let's rewind for a moment. Hartman wasn't a 5-star recruit, but he came out of Oceanside Collegiate Academy in South Carolina as a 3-star, ranked 775th nationally in his class. Not exactly a can't-miss prospect. But at Wake Forest, Hartman built himself into one of the most productive college quarterbacks in recent memory. Over 5 years with the Demon Deacons, he threw for 12,967 yards, 110 touchdowns, and 41 interceptions. That's insane production. After the 2022 season, Hartman transferred to Notre Dame for his final college year. In South Bend, he put up 2,689 passing yards, 24 touchdowns, and just 8 picks while leading the Fighting Irish to a 10-3 record and a dominant win over Oregon State in the Sun Bowl. Despite all of that production, Hartman went undrafted in 2024, a reminder of how brutal the NFL evaluation process can be. But Washington swooped in quickly, signing him as a free agent. Since then, it's been a roller coaster ride. Waived, signed, placed on the practice squad, elevated, cut again, signed to a futures contract, and now back to the practice squad. Why keep Hartman? Some fans might ask, why hang on to a quarterback who struggled in preseason and didn't make the 53-man roster? Here's the answer. Development and insurance. Quarterbacks take time. Not everyone comes into the league ready to start. And with Jayden Daniels entrenched as QB1, there's no rush for Hartman. Instead, he gets to sit in the meeting rooms, learn the offense, take scout team reps, and grow under the guidance of veterans like Mariota and Johnson. This is also about injury insurance. The Commanders cannot afford for their season to unravel if Daniels goes down. That's why they've invested in a deep quarterback room. Hartman may never see the field in 2025, but if things go wrong, he's a phone call away from being elevated. And let's not forget, Washington's culture under Dan Quinn is built on competition and accountability. Keeping Hartman around pushes everyone in that quarterback room to stay sharp. The Commanders are entering this season with massive expectations. After reaching the NFC title game, fans want more, ownership wants more, the locker room wants more. For Washington to take the next step, Jayden Daniels has to be the guy. That's priority number one. But behind him, the organization is making sure they have layers of security. That's why bringing Hartman back matters. It's not about star power, it's about smart roster management. Think about the most successful NFL teams in recent history. The Eagles, the 49ers, even the Chiefs. All of them have valued quarterback depth. You hope you never need to dip that far into the chart, but when you do, it can be the difference between staying alive or watching your season crumble. So, Commanders fans, here's the big question for you. Should Adam Peters take a chance on Kendrick Bourne, or should Washington stick with the wide receivers they already have? And how do you feel about Terry McLaurin's new contract now that the details are out? Did Washington get a team-friendly deal, or is it simply the price of keeping your superstar happy? Drop your thoughts down in the comments. I want to hear from you, because this channel is built around fan perspective and passion. And before you go, don't forget, hit that like button, subscribe to Commanders HQ, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any updates as we march toward Week 1 against the Giants. This team is sharpening, the roster is locked in, and the foundation is stronger than ever. The future of the Commanders looks brighter every single day, and together, we're going to be here for every moment.